Hello, my friends. I have a quick note today that is helpful for creating structure in your brain and recovery and in your life. A lot of people need this who aren't in recovery, too. So, a lot of times in life, we get stuck or snagged on the same patterns. And this is the funny thing is that we should know better, right? So this is the interesting thing that your limbic system does is it will decide that even if we realize, oh, well, I shouldn't body check or focus on symptoms or go down that self-defeating, kind of rabbit hole, well, maybe I should today, even though I shouldn't have yesterday. And maybe if I didn't get enough sleep, then the rules of reality have changed, and maybe I should be really depressed about, my symptoms today just because I didn't get enough sleep last night. So, creating structure in the brain is something that helps us to stay in a good place consistently all the time. So, here's how we do this it's creating some simple rules for yourself. A lot of times, the limbic system in our brain and society and life have what a number of people have termed bullshit rules. They're silly rules that don't make any sense, and they only serve to limit us and protect us from perceived threats that aren't there. When you create positive rules for yourself, you're giving yourself boundary lines to live within, and that can keep your energy able to continue moving forward in a straight direction forever and really help you gain momentum and feel energized and alive and focused and clear. So, here's a couple of rules that I found really helpful and just things I noticed, especially in recovery, that really help you to make progress. So, a lot of times, again, a couple things with this. These are just some of my rules and some of the rules of the way the brain works. That if we make a decision based on fear, it is never going to take us where we want to go. That's something that is pretty easy to see. However, in the moment, I had a client, she used this analogy that I love. She's like, yeah, it seems like your limbic system will just, it'll offer you like $1,000 to go down this old pathway. And it's not going to give you that, right? There's this illusion. All addictive patterns give this illusion of a reward, this very brief dopamine hit if you just give in to the pattern. But it's not, it doesn't give you anything. It just puts you in an old pattern and then you feel frustrated that you're there and whatever else you feel. So here's the solution is to be clear with yourself and be objective and make a rule that, okay, I don't act on fear-based thoughts or fear-based urges. I don't follow where the pathway goes, where my thought pattern goes when I'm basing it in fear. Note that all of those patterns are never going to take you where you want to go, and you can make a rule for yourself. I don't act on fear. I act on logic. I act on love. I act on, practical lived experience of, or science, things that, especially if you're in recovery. How does the brain work? Base your decisions in either the reality of logic and science or love. And that will take you places that you truly want to go. So that's one. Another one is this, if a thought pattern only goes in a circle, then you don't need to entertain it because it's not actually serving a purpose. It's so easy to spend our whole day going in circles in our brain. And it doesn't take us anywhere. So notice that, observe. If you notice that you're stuck a lot, recognize, okay, I'm free to drop this pattern and focus on the task at hand. To focus on a mood elevator, to focus on living out your value system, to focus on being in the present moment, engaging your brain in something positive. When you notice that a thought pattern goes in a circle, clearly it's not actually doing anything. It's not serving any purpose. It's completely useless. The other one is note if you find yourself in catch-22. So you're between a rock and a hard place, damned if you do, damned if you don't type of either situation in your mind or in your life. That is always the result of a trauma pattern, a limbic trauma loop or some trauma pattern. It's never real. There is no such thing as completely stuck. We all have the capacity to recognize that there is a solution, even if we don't know what it is yet, and be open to taking the necessary steps to get there. And be open to believing in that and waiting for it to arrive and cultivating relaxation chemistry and an open, creative mindset that will allow us to find those new ideas and those new perspectives that will break us free from that old catch-22 place. But those three of acting on fear, going around in a circle, and thinking that it's going to get us somewhere, and really believing in the catch-22 scenario Those are the three I see most often in limbic system impairment recovery, and they can just happen in life in general as well. So creating some simple rules of, I act on logic, I act on love, of recognizing that you're free to just redirect your attention, and it's like you could be in a thought pattern. The second you focus on something and realize, I don't need this thought pattern, I'm not engaging, keep redirecting your attention back to what you're doing. That's how you break out of that. And with the last one, remind yourself that there's always a solution. It just takes faith in believing that it's there and the willingness to pursue it / allow it to come to you. But that is so huge. Such a simple rules like that can make enormous difference in your recovery. So that's what I've got for you today, my friends. So much love to all of you, and enjoy the day.